What you're looking at is a 4x8, two sheets, 4x8. I picked them up from Home Depot the other day. God, wood is getting expensive. They're half an inch thick. And I purchased a 2x4 10 foot. Now the idea is to build a outdoor shelter for the generators, at least for one generator. For this generator, and if it works out well, I'll do it also for this generator here. But I'm not so sure about this generator here in the city because uh, people are thieves. They'll steal anything that's not nailed down. So I'll have to put that someplace else. But for out in Missouri, I'm going to use this generator, use this wood, and create a shelter that I could use on a permanent basis and leave the generator permanently outside. All right, that's the project. Okay, so this is what's going on. I cleared some space here in the garage because I have to do some work inside the garage in order to complete the box for the generator. This is the wood that's been cut to size. This wood still needs to be cut. I moved the generators all the way to the back of the shed over here, the back of the garage over here, which gave me this open space to work with. All right, so we need to do that because it's one of those days in the spring. You know how they say March comes in like a lion or whatever and goes out like a lamb. Well, we still have a little bit of that lion going on. So I'm gonna do some work inside. This project shouldn't take too long. One of the problems I did run into is that I miscalculated as far as the amount of wood that I needed. So the 4x8s that I purchased, I actually would need 3 to complete the original design that I have. So what I'm going to do is I have some another scrap 4x8 back here, and that's only a quarter of an inch, not like the 3/4 of an inch, which is what I was using. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these scrap pieces as I'm gonna chop them up, and I'm going to use them for braces on the sides so that I can use and then put the 1/4 inch ply on there. Okay, that's the first time I've ever done something like that. I'm not a carpenter by no means. I think the last time I did any carpentry work like this on this scale, when I was DJing back in the 70s, that was Master Plan. Who's the man with the master plan? And we used to play the music with the DJ, and I used to build the speakers because speakers were expensive. Also, as a note, I remember spending like $20 for a 4x8 sheet of plywood. And back then, that was a lot of money. But I bought 2 4x8 sheets from Home Depot the other day, and it was $60 a sheet. Yeah, no, I'm not going to say that, but you know what I mean. We're talking about wood, for heaven's sakes. You know what I mean? It's just a piece of wood. It's not like it's, gold plated or, something like that. It's just a couple of pieces of wood and some glue. Well, hey, you know what? No, I'm not gonna say that either. But you know what I was gonna say. He looks good with them aviators. All right. Anyway, that's all for now. I'm gonna set up the cameras and see what we can get going, so I get some good video. Okay. I want the back to sit on the bottom, because I want it to sit down and the bottom will not be inside, which is a thought, but it would have been harder as far as the measurements is concerned. Seeing how I only know how to really do stuff in box form, I'll have to do it this way. All right? Of course, it would have been nice if I had the screws handy. There we go. Alrighty. So always the first one. It's one thing I always noticed about when I was building speakers. There's always that first screw. Getting that first screw in there was always the hardest. Let's see. All right. Now, I'm using, what is this? 2.5, what is it, 2.5 inch? Yeah, it's kind of long. But I'm using 2.5. I'm using what I have. And I happen to have a box of 2.5 inch galvanized multi-purpose screws. They were on sale, so I bought them. What the heck? Whoa. All right, here we go. There we go. Ha! All right. First one is in. All right. Now let's try and get the next. Let's try and get the bottom. Get the rest of the bottom down here. you have to excuse me. My legs are not what they used to be. All right. Okay, here we go. All right. Make sure this thing is lined up. All right. All right. We got 2 in there. Okay. Now let's see if we can roll this guy over. Hope we won't pull those screws out since there's only 2 in there holding it together. All right. Whoa. Excellent. Excellent. 1 in the bottom. One on each corner and in the middle. All right. So let's put in 2 more. All right. Woo. All right, so now we got the bottom is on. Okay, I'm going to sand this later, but at least for right now, it's kind of rough on my hands there. Angles in for extra strength. Because not only is it going to hold the generator, but this is going to have to hold anything I might want to put on top of it. snow, and I like to overbuild a little bit. Just makes me feel a little bit more secure. I take this out there, it's not going to just flop over and fall apart. Because I remember the first speakers I ever made, oh my goodness. 1/4, a couple of 1x1s, some speakers. Oh, what a terrible sound. But then when I ended, I was able to build a speaker in my mind, have the lumberyard, and I could just put it together. I'd have a speaker together in about an hour, 2 hours. The hardest part was getting the circle for the speaker correct and the correct placement, especially if it was a folding horn. You have to have that placed just right. Otherwise, it sounds like it's has a tinny sound. The good, rich sound out of a folding horn speaker, to make sure that the speaker is the right distance from the fold. All right, so let me finish doing this. Oh my God, I need some Tylenol. My back hurts already. This is going to take a while. Okay, so now I'm going to take these corner pieces and I'm going to set them over here, and they're going to be the resting spot. I'm going to put them down about 1 inch so that I'll have the 3/4 ply and the 1/4 ply, and it should come close to the edge. I'd like it to come a little bit on the inside, but not on the outside. If that makes any sense to you. All right, because if it's on the inside, I can sand this down, plane it down, because I'm going to do it anyway, because look how rough that is. So about 1 inch down. All right? Okay. I'm not putting it in all the way, the screw all the way, because I want it to be a little bit loose. So then I can make adjustments. And I hate this. Oh, here we go. I have to confess, though, there's nothing like power tools, especially battery-operated ones, because I remember doing all of this by hand. Oh, my God. My forearms were like on fire when I was doing this before. Oh, my God. And then I got the bright idea, hey, Bob, why don't you drill a pilot hole before you start screwing the screws in? Then my arms weren't burning so much. But still, doing all of this by hand, oh my God, I would still be on the first couple of screws by now at this point in time. Woo. All right, that's not going to work. Yeah, I'd have been still been on the first couple of screws. Let's see, raise you up. And, okay. Still a little loose, like I said. Drill that last hole. All right. Bam. All right. Okay. So hopefully if I'm not getting this confused right about now, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to use the regular angles right here like this. And we're going to put that, I don't know, maybe over here someplace. It doesn't really matter as long as it's close to this, to the front. Because that's what it is. Because right now what you're doing is you're looking at it as a front on this way. You're looking front. All right, so this is the front. So we're going to have the side over here somewhere. All right? And we're going to do the same thing, 1 inch. Actually, let's keep this uniform. All right, let's keep 4 inches in. Let's make sure we go 4 inches in. That's 4 inches in and 1 inch down. There we go. All right, and so we're going to repeat the procedure on this side over here. 4 in, 4 inches in, 1 inch down. Okay, I know what you can see. I added an extra bracket over here. So the idea is to put a piece of wood right here, here, and a square right here, a square piece right here. All right, because I started thinking about it, one piece over here and one piece over here, that's not going to work, because then they would be sitting on top of each other unless I want to get one of those mitered cuts or some weird shit like that. That I cannot do, but this I can do. All right, so okay, so let's see. I would say 4 inches is good, right? All right. Okay. Okay, because what this piece is, this piece should be, it should be 2 feet by 4 feet. Yep, 48 inches by almost 24 inches. All right, so yeah, so we're slicing it. And note, and we're going to use that as support. Again, this doesn't have to be some kind of big deal because this is just for some support. Okay, that's 8, 12, and 16. All right, this doesn't even matter how neat this is at this particular point, because these pieces are going to be hidden on the inside. They're just to give the outer shell of the 1/4 inch something to rest on, something I could screw in. All right, screw into. Checking underneath. I don't do something stupid like cut my table apart. Oh, pretty good. That's pretty good. All right, excellent. Excellent. Looking good. And it looks like we have about 1/4 inch right there, just enough to stick the other piece in. Just the way it's supposed to be. Now in this corner, make it 5 by 5. Okay, now that I've got the sides on, the support structure that I worked on seems to work out pretty well. As you can see, I have the thin 1/4 inch ply connected to the supports. All right, and so now all that's left is the hinged top and the hinged front. So I have 3 more pieces to put on, and that should complete 3 more pieces of wood, and then the hardware. All right, got some of this stuff here. The hinges, the last one is getting ready to go on. But I'll tell you this, that shimmy has caused me so much grief as far as look at this. As far as putting these hinges on and lining everything up. Look at that. See how the top is coming out? Man, oh man, oh man. I regret not just going back to the store and buying another sheet of plywood. It's too late now because I've survived this, and it was a learning experience, definitely a learning curve. But I mean, look at that. You know, you want to hypnotize somebody. Look deep into the waves. You know, I mean, it's ridiculous. All right, I'm going to find something to shore this up a little bit better. The plans were good. The supplies with this thin 1/4 inch ply just wasn't up to the task. It's not up to the task. Definitely 3/4. Oh, and I added some rails for the bottom, because I don't want the bottom just sit straight on the flat on the dirt. I wanted something a little bit there for a little bit of raising it up a little bit. Also, it helps with the door. But you'll see. Well, superficially, I'm finished. All that's left is some paint or some type of covering, the insulation, but as you can see, it's pretty much done. At the side, you see where that thin 1/4 inch ply was just driving me crazy. But I got this open, got the hinges in. I put I secured this so it doesn't wobble as much. See, it doesn't wobble as much. And I got the front to open so I can go in that way. Put the generator in, close the door, open it, put gas, whatever I need. I was going to add, or I still am, going to add some ventilation. Now I was going to put the vents on the sides, but now since the structure is kind of weak, I'm going to put them, at least put one in the back. But this is so not airtight, I think it's not going to be that much of an issue. But I want to have some ventilation inside this container just to be on the safe side. All right. As you can see, I've turned the generator box upside down, and I'm going to put a coating of waterproofing and wood finishing. It says clear. I don't know, that doesn't look like clear to me, but we'll see. And besides, it doesn't even matter because this is really for protection. Okay, and we'll start off at the bottom, and then we'll flip it over and do the rest of it. Okay, it looks more like a stain. And it didn't come out so bad. The hinges work. I added a little bit more shoring up on that side because it was flexing out so much. Bottom door works. I can put in the generator. We got the sides. Well, I'm finished. And you can see I had some problems with this, especially with the walls. That 1/4 inch ply, it was a lot harder to deal with than I thought. Kept throwing my measurements off as far as where I was putting the hinges and the doors, and it was kind of thin all over the place. But it was a learning experience, and that's what leaving my comfort zone is all about. Doing things that I'm uncomfortable with doing. And this I was uncomfortable with doing, but I think it turned out pretty well, even though I pretty much had no clue as to what I was doing. So you have to take that into consideration. But thank you. I hope you learned something. I know I did learn something. I hope there was a little bit of entertainment in there. So thank you for visiting Leaving My Comfort Zone. Have a good day. God bless you.